I stood outside my parents' Victorian house, staring at my reflection in the glass. Between my brother's Mercedes and my sister's Range Rover sat my old Toyota Corolla, looking almost embarrassed to be there. For 6 years, I'd played the part of the struggling programmer, the family's simple one, the one who never made it big. Tonight, that image would finally break. When Victoria opened the door, she looked me up and down with that same smirk she'd worn since high school. "Still shopping at outlets?" she asked. I smiled politely, knowing my tailored blazer cost more than her rent. Inside, nothing had changed. Dad sat in his leather chair, pretending to read financial news. Mom adjusted the flowers that never quite looked real. Mark flashed his new Rolex while Jennifer bragged about their Aspen trip. "Olivia," Mom exclaimed, kissing the air beside my cheek. "We were just talking about Mark's promotion." "Congratulations," I said, sitting in my usual seat, the one with the wobbly leg nobody ever fixed. "Some of us just know how to climb," Mark said smugly. "Not everyone's cut out for success." I took a sip of water, hiding my smile. In less than an hour, the whole world would know what I'd really built. Dad folded his paper. "Peterson's hiring IT staff. Maybe you could finally get a decent car." "I'm fine with mine," I said evenly. Victoria laughed. "Fine? That old thing belongs in a museum." I glanced at my watch. 47 minutes. The countdown had begun. The dining room felt heavy, with polished pride and shallow laughter. "Still working on that app thing?" Dad asked. "How much money have you wasted?" "Not wasted," I said quietly. "Invested." Mark laughed. "You mean that Kickstarter that made $50? I smiled. 30 minutes. The air tasted like irony. Mom, trying to ease the tension, chirped, "Victoria's expanding her business, and Mark's buying another house. Isn't that wonderful?" "So wonderful," I said, cutting into my food. "Meanwhile," Mark continued, "you're still driving that junk." "It's a classic," I replied. "Is that what we're calling broke now?" Victoria said, giggling. Their laughter echoed around me. 10 minutes. I checked my watch again. The news was about to drop. "Any new projects, Olivia?" Mom asked. "Actually," I began. "Oh, please," Mark interrupted. "Not another idea." Then Dad's hand slipped on the remote, and the TV came to life. "Breaking news," the anchor said. Megacorp has officially acquired NextVision Technologies for $2.1 billion. The company was founded by Olivia Wilson. The room froze. Dad's glass shattered on the floor. Victoria's mouth fell open. "What?" she whispered. "That's you?" I nodded slightly. "That's me." No one spoke. The news anchor's voice filled the silence, repeating my name. NextVision's founder is now one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the country. Mom blinked rapidly. "But your car, your apartment, all part of the story," I said. My phone vibrated with messages, calls, and news alerts. Mark's face was pale. "You deceived us." "No," I said quietly. "You just assumed I'd failed." Victoria stood abruptly. "You let us think you were struggling." "I needed to know who would still treat me like family when I had nothing," I replied. "Now I know." Dad's face turned red. "You should have told us." "Would it have mattered?" I asked. "Would you have respected me then? Or envied me?" The room went silent again. My phone buzzed. It was Maria, my assistant. "Yes, Maria," I said into the phone. "Tell Megacorp I'll be ready for the press conference in an hour." Every head turned toward me. "Press conference?" Dad echoed. "They want me there for the official announcement," I said. Mark just stared at me, disbelief written across his face. "You really did it." I smiled slightly. "Yes, I did, Mom's voice trembled. But why hide it? Because I wanted to see who you were without the money, I said. Turns out money wasn't the problem. Ego was. I reached into my bag and pulled out my real laptop. The screen lit up with property deeds, patents, and bank statements. That small apartment you laugh at? I said softly. It's one of 6 I own. The co-working space? I bought the whole building, Victoria looked shocked. So all this time? I was working, I finished. While you were laughing, I was building. My phone buzzed again. Miss Wilson, Maria's voice came through. Your car is ready. Bentley or Aston Martin? The room went still. Bentley, I said, meeting Mark's stunned eyes. It'll look good next to your Mercedes. Dad looked down, his voice weak. We misjudged you. No, I said. You revealed yourselves. They sat there, silent and small, while I gathered my things. Before I go, I said, pulling out another folder, there's something else. Their eyes widened as I opened it. I had my team audit your finances. Dad stiffened. You what? Victoria, I said, your firm's 3 months from collapse. Mark, you've been falsifying reports. And Dad, your investments are barely holding. Mom gasped. Why would you do this? Because truth is the foundation of success, I said. You've been living for appearances. It's time to build something real. I slid another set of documents across the table. These are contracts. I'm offering you positions at my company, entry level. Learn from the ground up. Entry level? Victoria whispered, horrified. I run my own firm. A failing one, I replied. Start over. Like I did, Dad's face was red. And if we refuse? Then you keep living the lie, I said. But now you'll know exactly what you lost. One by one, their pride cracked. Mom reached for the pen first, tears in her eyes. We'll do it, she whispered. The others followed, silent and ashamed. I gathered the papers and stood. Good choice. Tomorrow you start at Next Vision outside. The Bentley gleamed under the streetlight, but I walked right past it to my old Toyota. The seat creaked, the engine hummed, and for the first time in years, I felt completely at peace. Real power isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, and patient. My phone buzzed again. 4 messages, all from my family. Each one said the same thing. Thank you for the chance. I smiled faintly, watching the city lights blur past the windshield. They once called me broke. Now they worked for me. But the truth was, the richest thing I ever built was my self-respect.